You're listening to On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty here on iHeartRadio. And I am here at the 100 Black Men 19th Annual Oracle Contest. And I'm speaking to the second runner-up, and his name is Logan. And Logan, tell us what you talked about today.
So the topic was media integrity. Specifically, it was about whether it's better to get information out correctly the first time, or whether it's about it's better to get it out faster, right? Even if it might have errors in it. And so the answer to me seemed to be like, obviously, that you should get the information out, like the correct information out. And I explained the context of why I thought that my answer was important in today's media landscape, because particularly today, there's a lot of the media faces challenges, right? So newspapers, they have declining revenues and whatnot, and it's just very much a changing landscape, and it's really important that the news outlets stick to journalistic principles, because if they don't, then we can risk a post-truth world where we don't know what is and what isn't, and so you have to hold the media accountable. And one example I used was the story about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq that the New York Times reported. And I explained how that was damaging, and the stakes of reporting the truth versus just reporting factually incorrect stories. Exactly. Which is that it's there's actual consequences to what can happen, and huge broad consequences. And so it's important for the consumer of news, whether they're reading independent journalism or more opinionated journalism, or mainstream newspapers, to treat each thing with skepticism. There's a tendency to, if something's authoritative, it's the New York Times or whatever, and it's considered to be authoritative,
gospel.
Right, where it's where we don't have to we don't treat it with a grain of salt the same way we would if it was a smaller outlet.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't not being ridiculous about it towards any news outlet, and just being responsible and not perpetuating stories that you think might be false or you're not totally sure are true.
So what would you say is the importance of the integrity right now in the day and age of, the different things that's coming across now because of Trump being in office? And, they're saying a lot of times the media right now, they're being scripted, and there's different things that are being said for them that they have to say. How do you feel about that with the integrity of the media right now in this day and age?
Right, talking about the Sinclair broadcasting thing where local news is getting a script from on high. Yeah. I mean, so that's been a practice. My understanding is that originated within Fox News, that sort of sort of top-down news narrative, where I don't know if Fox News does this now, but they used to do this thing where it would be we have a talking point and we're going to push it in every single show throughout the day, and they would get it at the beginning of the day, and it was an order from on high. With Sinclair, it's even more blatant. It's an actual script that you have to read all the different local news channels. And where this is different than what we've seen before is that local news is ostensibly unbiased or fairly neutral. When you turn on Fox News or MSNBC, like it's presumed that there's an agenda going on, that like you're watching opinion pieces and pundits give their takes on the news. But with the local news, you just expect there to be facts.
Yes.
And when you bring like the cable news style landscape of like takes and, you know, opinion information be like right in there next to news, then it can be potentially really dangerous because people don't have their guard up. They're not questioning. Like when you're watching, you know, something where you know they have an agenda, where it's like, we know this is the conservative network, we know this is the liberal network, then, you know, you have that in your mind. But with this, it's just somebody you trust and you know and you see every night saying these things, and you're like, all right, I guess this is the case.
Right.
And I really don't know what to do about Sinclair or what should happen.
Well, what's next for you, Logan, in media? What's next for you?
Me and media?
Yes. I mean, or you just being, have you thought about being a forerunner or helping change the paradigm of what you see of what we see and hear in media?
Oh, boy, I don't know. I mean,
you ever thought about it? You could be that change that we need.
I guess. I mean, I don't know what I want to do. So
okay. Well, I thank you so much for being on the go with me. Congratulations for coming in second, and keep it up, please do, because we need more people who have their eyes open and their ears open to what's really going on in the world, so that we can be told the truth versus a narrative of someone else. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thanks.